Please talk loud because it will make me in a better mood later when I have to edit this, and I don't want to do subtitles for everything.
I haven't signed a waiver.
I don't have a waiver. This ain't a professional show.
Hey, so here we are, cooking in the kitchen. Here we have some, I'm doing my intro. Here we have some minced garlic. And then here we have some finely diced, perhaps even minced Vidalia onion. Okay? And that's all I have to say right now.
Are you done?
Feel free to go ahead.
Hey guys, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side. So these are my uncles.
Yeah, hey, I'm Drew, Kate's uncle.
I'm Kevin, Kate's uncle. Are these easy questions or hard questions?
They get harder.
Are they math questions?
No.
History?
No.
Okay, good.
So we're gonna start with the background first.
Okay.
So we're gonna just like give background, family stuff, and then favorite memory together.
Favorite memory together ever?
I don't know, Kate.
Well, that's
I've
pretty
known you
tough.
since you were born.
I have two. You've known me since I was like, what, three?
Three. Mm-hmm.
You're my niece. I was there when you were born. Your mom has been my sister my whole life. I've been together with Kevin since 2005.
Okay, Drew has been with Kevin since 2005. Kevin, I was 3 when Kevin showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin's basically been here the whole time.
I remember one of the first times that Kate and I were together. She was at our house in Baltimore. I was so nervous, and this doesn't really have anything to do with any of us. I was so nervous because we had this grumpy cat called Oliver, and I was afraid Oliver was going to scratch you. I don't know if you remember Oliver being a grumpy cat.
I remember that.
Yeah, the whole time, the first time you came over the house, I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't scratch me. I hope he doesn't scratch me. Because I wanted you to like me, and I wanted you to feel comfortable in our house. And I was afraid that if our cat scratched you, you'd be like, I don't like those people. I ain't coming back.
Well, I like you. Okay, so I have 2 favorite memories.
Go
Can I
on.
tell
One
us?
of them involves just him.
That's fine.
And the other one's both you. So the one that involves just Kevin is at your wedding.
Uh-huh.
Me and Kevin were dancing. It was like right after you got married. Do you remember this?
Maybe keep going.
And you go, and we were dancing, the music was really loud, and we were like, I'm your uncle, you're my niece.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm really smart.
I always thought that Kevin was really the favorite uncle because he did more fun things with you, like, I don't know.
Kevin wanted to make a good impression.
But he's always done the things like Snapchat and like the Instagram filters and all that kind of stuff that like I was less interested in.
That's okay.
I know it's okay. I'm not worried about it.
Is when y'all and Dottie, their daughter, surprised me at Ataxia.
Oh, that was really fun.
I cried. That was a big
Did.
day.
I remember that. I remember walking in and yeah, that was pretty emotional. And Dottie was so excited to see you.
So now we're,
That was a really fun memory. That was good.
do you
Yeah.
have a memory?
I have many memories. I remember a lot of things. I remember like more things than I can think of.
I also remember whenever you would get a game on your phone and I would get the same game so I could play it.
So when I was little, did you notice that anything was off?
I mean, sure, like you were awkward.
Okay.
I mean, you were not like you were, just like we've talked about before, and like you've talked about a bunch of times. You were a little bit clumsy, and but you also just didn't have interest in sporty things. So who knew what was going on? But like, yeah, there was that kind of stuff.
I remember the first time I noticed that you seemed physically awkward was at a softball game that we went to go see that you were playing. And I didn't, I just kind of thought you weren't very good at softball. But then, later I started thinking, I wonder, maybe she wasn't good at softball because she had this stuff going on with her body. And, there's no way of really knowing.
Basketball.
I would sit in the field and pick clovers.
Yeah, you just weren't very interested.
Oh, something I did notice about you from an early age that I kind of wondered about was your accent. And I was like, I wonder if she's going to sound like that her whole life.
Turns out, yeah.
You just sound like you're from Louisiana.
How did you find out that I had FA and what was your initial reaction?
Well, we knew that you had been, that your parents were anxious about a number of things because you had the heart issue diagnosed. And then the doctor, I guess, had told your parents that if they ever mentioned this other thing, that they needed to be sure to talk about it. And then I remember that they just decided finally to get you tested. And your mom texted all of us the day they got the results because she just couldn't talk about it. And she said she has it. It's going to be okay, but just not today.
That day that Rachel texted us that, it was kind of like we had been getting, little pieces of information about it leading up to it. So, when you told other people in your life about it, they probably didn't, besides your family and your close friends, people probably found out right away all in like one big gulp of like, you have FA, or what FA means. But for us, it was like a slow learning process of like a year and a half or longer. Yeah, it was a slow trickle process of like coming to it, but then that text from your sister, that was real. So.
I mean, I'd already started reading about it by then because Rachel had told us that, you were going to be tested for this thing, and so, of course, I started reading about it to try to understand about it. And then when she said, and I kind of already, by the time it was actually diagnosed, I kind of thought we already kind of knew it was going to be the case, just because all the symptoms lined up. And I wasn't surprised, although it was,
Would you say that my disability limits us in anything?
No. I mean, there's the kinds of things that, like, you can't, like, stand up and go run around, but, like, in terms of our relationship, I don't think it limits it at all. Like, we talk and we sit around and laugh, and, and you still play with Dot, and, like, I don't know. Like, I try not to see it as a limitation. It's just a change in the way that we interact with each other.
It obviously does make some changes, but like we still plan to do all kinds of things. It's not like we stop planning to do things. We just kind of plan a little differently.
And I think we consider things differently. Like, when Dad was going to rent a boat for this weekend, I asked him, I said, are you sure that's going to be okay for Kate to get into? But I don't, again, like, I prefer, for myself anyway, not to think about it as much as a limitation as just an adaptation, like just a different way of interacting.
Mm-hmm.
You can edit this out, but Dottie looked at me today and said, do you know what my favorite part of today was? And I said, no, what was your favorite part of today? She said, we kept my hair up.
Oh, that's really nice. But you have to let us have her.
What did you just say?
I said it's a great story, but I said I want to finish the interview.
He said, cool story, bro.
No, I mean, it's a great story. Yeah.
What's the hardest part of having a niece that's missing?
Again, like, I don't like to think about it like that. For me, it's just like the challenges you face. It's hard to see. It's hard to see my sister and brother-in-law, adjusting to that also. But, and just like how you all are having to struggle at times and figure things out. But I try not to think about it in terms of like just hardship.
I think for me the hardest part is the stuff that I bring to it. It's just my own worries, and it's not really you or anything that you do. Like, but sometimes I wonder, is she getting to do the things she wants to do? I hope she is. I hope she is satisfied with like everything that's going on, and that she's not lacking in that. And for me that's the hardest part, is sometimes wondering, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're my niece. So that means you're my favorite niece. I feel like before Dottie came along, like, you were my girl. You still are. But,
I was about to say, I'm offended. God.
No, I just have another one too now.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Did I answer my questions right?
Yes.
What's my prize? Also, we didn't plan the shirt thing. It just happened.
I also love seeing what you do with your videos. I'm very proud of you for all the stuff that you do. You could just sit in your room, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do.
Bye, everybody.
Are you doing ASMR? ASMR?
Mama did.
No, but let me get a pickle.
Good job, Kevin.
You didn't turn it off. Don't tell me what you'll have on there.
Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.
Do you know about ANSR? It's this.
ASMR, you cool.
Hey, what?